Hey guys, today's video is going to be another guitar video. I ain't put one up for a while and just got this. My wife actually bought it for me. This is the brand new Squier Sonic Series Mustang single coil pickups, and I'll go ahead and say it right now. If you want to skip to the demo, the sound demo, I'll put the time in up here. Just skip to that time on the video if you don't want to listen to none of the talking. But before you do that, we are going to take the pick guard up a little bit and look at the pickups and the electronics. Just do a general inspection and see how the build quality is and everything on it. So the Sonic series is basically replacing the Bullet series, the way I understand it, and just a new lineup, something different. They already had one. There's a Bullet that had 2 humbuckers, and there's also a humbucker version of this being produced now. So let's go ahead and talk about the general specs of it. This is a poplar body. It appears to be a 4-piece body. You can kind of see the seams in the wood. Maple neck. Which is actually a 1-piece neck, at least on this one. I'm not saying they all are, but you can see the grain. It's clearly a 1-piece neck. That's how the grain goes on the end of it. And out of the box, which ain't much different than what it is now, we just had to adjust the neck a little bit. It had just a little bit of an excessive bow in it, and had to set the intonation on about 3 of the strings, very close, and the string height down here at the nut is just about where you want it, at least me. And the string height is just about perfect. I like strings just a little bit high, so with a little bit of work you could probably get the strings a little bit lower, but I mean, they're pretty low. And so here's the back of it. It is Sunburst on the back, as you can see. This is also available in Torino red, but I love a Sunburst. It has a skunk stripe, which is unusual for the cheaper Squiers, and it's made in Indonesia. And as you can see, it's got this type of tuner on it, and it's a very nice guitar. I really like it. And now let's talk about what separates this from a traditional Fender Mustang or the more expensive Squier Mustang that's being made too. First thing is basically the electronics and the general setup. First thing that's different, you probably notice, a real Mustang will have a switch above each pickup to just it's on-off on. That way you can put the pickups out of phase. This does not have that. It just has a typical 3-way Gibson style toggle switch or Jazzmaster style, volume and tone. And these are advertised as Squier ceramic magnet pickups. So I want to see, there's 3 different types that Squier has made as far as I know. There's a type that's got 2 bar magnets on the bottom. There's a type that's got 1 big magnet right in the middle. And the other one's got one that's like recessed and the bottom of the pickup's flush. I hope this is the type that's got the dual magnets, because they're made more like P90 pickups. Not as far as the winding, but as far as the general construction goes. And they're actually really good quality pickups. And another major difference between this and a regular Mustang, this is a hardtail bridge and top loading. And most Mustangs would traditionally have a bigger bridge that would come out about right here. That's kind of why it looks like it's just a blank space right here. And they would have a tremolo bar or whammy bar, whatever you want to call it. And it had like 2 springs underneath of it. It's a little bit set up different than a Jazzmaster or a Strat tremolo. And it's just, you know, if you want to really want a tremolo, then this is definitely not the guitar for you. If you really want those phase switches, then this is not the guitar for you. But if you want a bare bones Mustang style guitar to give you the basic Mustang sounds and feel, this is what you want. This is what I wanted. Nothing against the tremolo system or the switches. I like a bare bones simple guitar. That's what caught my eye on this. The only thing I really don't like is the white pickguard. I'd rather have a black pickguard or maybe even a tortoiseshell on this Sunburst. But it is a more traditional look, and it's starting to grow on me. So let's check a few things out before we do the sound sample on it. Alright, so I just removed the 3 screws that hold the metal control plate on. Yeah, but typical. These are alpha pots. Usually they're stamped what the impedance is on them. Probably they should be 250K, I would think, but they are alpha brand pots. And just a general jack. Nothing too special going on here. I can try to get a voltmeter on there and get a reading on these just so we know what the value is. So these are actually 500K pots, which is fine. I don't appear to be too trebly or anything. Look at the value of the capacitor, 22. So that's a standard setup they're doing on most everything. And it probably sounds shrill sounding if this was traditional Alnico magnets that have a little bit more treble response. So that's probably not actually a bad thing on these, just to get a little bit more treble out of what would normally be a slightly muddy sounding pickup. So that's a good choice there to balance that out. Now let me take the top part of the pick guard off. I'm not going to take it completely off. We'll look at the construction of the pickups and see how it's set up. Very hard to see without actually taking the pick guard off, but they are the dual magnet type. Now I did hook a voltmeter up through the jack on here, which gives you an approximate reading of the pickups, but you are still getting a kind of a fake reading because of the, or not really a fake, but a misreading because of the resistance of the pots. But it kind of gives you in the ballpark reading. I'm getting 5.7 on the neck pickup and 6.1 on the bridge pickup. So that's a decent pairing, and with the, it may not sound like much, which it's right on spec with traditional Strat style pickups, which is about what Mustang pickups are. It's right on spec with the windings, but these might sound just slightly hotter because of the ceramic magnets. Give you a little bit of a punchier sound, which I don't usually like, but on certain guitars it just sounds right. And this actually has a real punchy and real clear sound to it. Mustang pickups are basically Strat pickups. They're flush poles, so the top of the magnet just comes up to the bottom of the pickup cover, or it's flush with the top of the bobbin. So actually you're getting the magnets, so you're actually getting the coil of the pickup a little bit closer to the strings. So that kind of gives it just a slightly different sound, but generally speaking they're the same as Strat pickups. So if you got a set of really good Strat pickups you like, throw them in this. If you don't want Mustang pickups, Strat pickups will fit right in there. For now, I'm going to keep these. I may eventually upgrade electronics. I didn't look at the switch, but I'm sure it's just that standard, cheaper box style. So if it's going to be a daily player, you probably want to upgrade to electronics. Because these pots will probably get scratchy after a while, and the switch will probably break or quit working. Just the way it is on cheaper guitars. Like, you know, this is my thing. I've always been a fan of cheaper guitars that start out with decent quality, because what I mean is, this is a poplar body wood. Well, Fenders use poplar too. It's maple neck. Obviously Fender has always used maple necks. Mustangs are traditional with the rosewood fingerboard though, so that is a difference, and I actually prefer to look at the maple fingerboard. But if you start off with a good body and good neck, you can pretty much make it a high quality guitar. And this one, the frets are smooth. There's no fret ends sticking out anywhere. And this, but if I was blindfolded and you had me play this, I'd probably think it was a Fender, because it's actually a really decent guitar. Now let's talk about some differences. This body is not contoured. It doesn't have the tummy cut or the arm contour up here like say a Strat does. As far as I know, all Mustangs had that. So that's one thing that's different, but it makes up for it having a much thinner body. Let me try to get a measurement on that body. I'm measuring 1 5/16 inch. A traditional Strat or Tele is 1.5 inches to 1 3/4 thick. Usually Fenders are 1 3/4. I'm not exactly sure what the thickness of Mustangs are, but it might be the same. But that is a note that this is a very thin body, and I like that myself. Like I said, it makes up for not having the contours. That might be why they went with a thinner body. This is also top loading. As I mentioned, it don't have the tremolo. The switching system is different, and most Mustangs had a maple fingerboard. And that's really the three biggest differences I see on this. But now I do have one slight complaint, and I can deal with it, and I'm going to fix it myself probably here before the end of the video. The back of the neck, this is like a satin finish. There's no gloss anywhere on the neck, and you can hear it. It's almost like they didn't sand it with quite a high enough paper after finishing, or they didn't sand it at all after having after a thin coat was applied to it. So I'm going to take like a scuff pad, a Scotch Brite pad, about 500 or 600 grit, just kind of hit the back of that a little bit, just to smooth it up. And that's just a personal preference. And it's perfectly playable right out of the box. It's just one of them little things that you notice. But absolutely love it. They probably don't show up as good as it does in person on the camera. It's an amazing finish. Other than my fingerprints all over it. And some Sunburst, you know, or there's too much black coming in. And this is just perfect. It don't cover up none of the outlines or anything. It's just perfect. There's no flaw anywhere on the finish. So, all right. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say on there. If you want to make it more of a fender, you can actually probably change this pickguard out. May have to do a little bit of routing to make room for the switches, but you could get it there if you really want to do it. But I like the bare bones setup myself. Just a simple switch, volume, and tone. So the video is a little bit longer than I was planning on, so I'm going to go ahead and make the sound sample, then we'll end it. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we've got it set up through the plug straight into the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, all tube, solid state rectifier. It's got the mod tone reverb tank. Sounds amazing. Little hum from the bridge pickup. Noise canceling with both of them on. I forgot to say that earlier. Just a little bit of hum. Of course, I'm also sitting right on top of the amp. This house is usually pretty quiet because it's grounded really good. Like the intonation, just about perfect on it. These are 942 strings. I may end up changing them to 1046, just because my hands, I'm used to playing flat wounds on the other guitar, and I'll end up bending the strings. Here. So if you hear something like that, that's what that is. Always like hitting all them open chords because that gives you you can pretty much tell if the intonation's off. And anyway, I'm going to play my usual lick and a couple other little things. Do a little bit in each position. There's not going to be no distortion, so if you want to hear distortion, it's not going to be on there. Almost got a Telecaster snapped up going on there. In the middle position, still got that sound almost like a Telecaster in the middle. However, with this neck pickup being in more and a shorter scale, it's almost like the neck pickup's in between of where a neck and middle pickup would be on a Strat. So the sound's not quite as open and quite as twangy or woody sound as like a Tele, or if you had the bridge and neck pickups one on a Strat. But still a really nice punchy sound. It's nice to have on another guitar. Still got a nice twangy sound, but it's just almost like punchy and a little bit more mid-range to it than like I was talking about. to mention when I was showing everything on the workbench, but this is a 24-inch scale, so it's a shorter scale, but the end of the guitar to the top of the headstock is just about the same as a Strat or Tele. It's just the body's smaller. That's kind of like why this space is right here. but it's like they say on the thing, it's by all means a full-size guitar. It's just a shorter scale. The neck pickup's got a really smooth, mellow sound. Like I said, where it's moved in a little bit more than like on a Strat, and the shorter scale, it's just got a little bit more punchy mid-range to it, and I really like the way the neck pickup sounds. If I was going to change the pickups, I'd probably leave this one because it sounds amazing to me. But I could use maybe just a tiny bit more treble on the bridge pickup, but I'm probably not going to mess with it. I'm just going to leave it alone. But I really like the sound of it. Sometimes you just don't modify one. I may upgrade some things just to make it more practical to play more, like so the tone controls and stuff don't wear out and switch. Really good sounding guitar, and may change the strings on it just to get a little bit more of my tone out of it and stop it bending so much. But at the same time, I kind of want to leave it on there so I can twist notes more, but I don't really do that a whole lot. Alright guys, so this video is getting a little bit longer, so let's go ahead and go to the outro. On the outro I talk about sanding the back of the neck down. I did take a scuff pad to it just for about a couple seconds just to take that off, and now it feels more like what I'd expect, but you don't necessarily have to do that, and yours may not need it. I will say this, as nice as this is and building up on this video, I really hope that the quality control is consistent on these, because I really like this, and I'd hate for somebody to get it and the playability. I mean, there's a bad one on anything. You could get a bad Fender or even a Gibson or something, but I just really hope the quality control is consistent on these, because I really like this one. Alright guys, so that's pretty much sums this video up. If you got any questions, comments, or suggestions for similar videos, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll be back on small engine repair or electrical stuff here soon. Just thought I'd throw this up in between everything. Yeah, I really like this guitar, and for $199 plus tax, you can't really beat it. This video is recorded at the 1st of July of 23, and I just kind of wanted to get one before the price changes, because I had that happen before. I look forward to any time the price go up a little bit on it, so I wanted to catch it early. And also wanted to say I'm not associated or affiliated or sponsored or anything by Squier or Fender. I bought this guitar with my own money to have for myself and to make this video for you. I say with my own money, but like I said, my wife actually bought it, so I gotta keep that in there. But yeah, really nice guitar for the price. They also have a whole line of Strats and Tellys in this Sonic series, and a few other variations on this. So get on there and browse through it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. So thanks for watching.